Hi guys. The books that I'm going to talk with you about on this video are books that deal with world issues, kind of big picture things that affect not just us around here, but everywhere in the world, people everywhere in the world. So things like immigration, racism, terrorism, and poverty. And reading books about these issues is a great way to learn more about it, kind of beyond the facts and figures, because we can watch the news and kind of stay up on current events, but when we read a book where a character is actually experiencing these things firsthand, we can learn a lot about what that could be like. So the book Ask Me No Questions is about a girl named Nadira and her family. They are Muslim immigrants from the country of Bangladesh, and that's a country in Southeastern Asia, very close to India. And they came to the United States several years ago for a better life, and they are living in the United States when 9/11 happens. So this book is written a while ago. We know 9/11 happened in the year 2001. And once that happens, they are having a rough time living in the United States, partly because of their religion, because they're Muslim, but also because they don't have the proper paperwork to be there. They don't have the visas that they need, and they know once this terrorism attack has happened, they won't be able to get them. And so the plans that they've kind of had to stay in this country are now on hold, and so they decide they're going to try to go to Canada and ask for something called asylum, which means safe entry into that country. And so this is a little bit of the book from their trip, right as they get to the Canadian border. Our car slows and we see 4, no, 7, no, maybe a dozen cars ahead of us. Around the bend, a Greyhound bus is letting out lots of people. Everyone is stamping their feet in the cold. Just beyond is a low brick building, the red and white flag of Canada snapping on a pole. A tall man in a brown uniform and hat is moving toward us, waving his gloved hand. Slowly, Abba, that's her father, lets down the window. "Officer, sir?" he asks. The tip of the man's nose is rosy red, and he's got gingery freckles all over his cheeks. "Passports?" he says, as if he knows not to bother. "We're applying for asylum in your country, sir," Abba replies. Ma is leaning forward to the left so sharply I think she's going to fall into Abba's lap. The man shakes his head, droplets spattering off the brim of his hat. "Sorry, we're full up, overwhelmed. People have been coming non-stop, and we can't process them all." "But sir, we can drive to another post, you just tell me where." He shakes his head again. I can see it as a friendly move. He's sorry to have to say no. "Everywhere. Detroit. All the border crossings. It's been crazy these past few weeks. The best thing you can do is go back around the American side. I'm afraid they'll probably arrest you if your visa isn't current." So that's exactly what happens. Nadira and her family have to head back to the United States, and her father gets arrested. And the rest of the book is how the family deals with this. Father in prison, they know that they're there illegally, and everyone in the family kind of deals with it in a different way. Again, these books are kind of fascinating because I don't know what it's like to be in that sort of situation. So to read about someone who's having to deal with that gives me a different understanding, and kind of gives me a personal face behind an issue that maybe I've heard about or read about. La Linnea is also a book about immigration. This is a book about a Mexican immigrant, two siblings trying to go and find their parents in California, and it's a very risky journey, a lot of danger, and they're not even sure if their parents are there waiting for them. The book Head Kick by Patrick Jones is about a young Asian immigrant living with his family, and he finds that he's having to kind of step up and be maybe the man of the house. He has an older brother that's causing problems, and so his way of kind of coping with all of that is to join a dojo and participate in martial arts. And the last book that I think is a great one to read about, learn about big issues, is Sherman Alexie's The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. And this tells the story of a young man growing up on a Native American Indian reservation and dealing with poverty and alcoholism that is a big part of the life there for many people. So yeah, give these books a try. Maybe consider checking one of them out. Take a look around. These are a great way to learn about world issues, and not just learn about them in kind of a basic way like we might hear about in the news, but to kind of go beyond the facts and figures and to get to know people that are struggling with these issues, and to start thinking about these issues in a different way.